Good afternoon, everybody. Just want to do another trade recap for today. Today was a break-even day for me. I had during New York session, I had one loss, which was manageable. It was a simple loss, like 300, and then there was a or 400, and then there was my win for the day, which was around 1200. But today's gonna be mixed with like a psychology day plus trade recap. Um, the reason why, yeah, I had my last 400 during Asia session, and I made in my second trade around like 1200, so it should have been up for 800 for the day. But what went wrong was actually during Asia session. I had a series of a little bit of revenge trading, and had one loss during Asia session. Then I kind of revenge traded over and over again. So that was my issue during Asia, which led me to kind of go break even for the day. Just want to say real quick, that's a prime example of how your wins will always outnumber your losses if you're doing the right things. You know what I mean? If you're doing the right things, your wins will you'll way over your losses as long as you minimize your losses. You know what I mean? Like today should not have even been a losing day. Today should have been a winning day. My emotions were elevated. Everything was bad, which is what caused it to be a losing day. So Asia said I'll even show you guys the chart executions. Where is it at? Yeah, like around here, man. I entered like five trades during Asia session. Pretty sure they had two trades during New York and then like five trades during Asia. This was previous day, I think. Yeah, this was previous day. But five trades during Asia session, and there were like one was a win, one was a break even, and three were losses. It was just a bad mix of everything, which caused me to kind of spiral down a bad path. But I was able to catch myself because I learned too many lessons about how over trading and revenge trading just does nothing but wrong, does nothing but bad stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, this that was my session on Asia. Just a bunch of losses. I'm not really gonna go over it. Just know that it was not good trades. Nothing I'm proud of, and I'm gonna stop trading Asia for a while. I'm just gonna stick with New York until things work out. Um, in terms of New York, let's just get right into what I saw today. Today was very clear draws of liquidity. We started up here. Um, my targets were previous day high up here. We had London low down here, and then this was marked out a little bit later. This was more for my first trade that I took was targeting around here. But yeah, these are my draws of liquidity I had for the day. Um, let's go down 15 in the 15 or in the 1 hour. Actually, let's go back to the 1 hour. Pre-market there was a whole lot of fair value gaps that I marked out. I was trying to target for shorts. That was my main bias for shorts and why I thought of shorts because we were super overextended during London session and pre-market. Market just launched up, so I was kind of going for shorts because of how many fair value gaps were down here and how overextended we were. And I was waiting for shorts, which did eventually play out, but I did not get an entry to it. I did see some entries, but I didn't take any. And then I also was off the charts from around like 10:30 to like 11 something, but I missed a lot of entries and I didn't take any entries I saw. But yeah, that's the 1 hour. Let's go down 15 minutes. Nothing much here. As we can see, we're just pushing higher on pretty much every single time frame. Um, mute Discord real quick. Yeah, so pre-market prices went up. So market open, we see right here, price just kind of went up. I was looking for a retrace down into these this 15 or 5 minute 15 5 minute for value gap. This was a 5 minute. I was looking for a retrace into this 5 minute before going higher towards previous day highs. That was for bulls. I mean that's for yeah, for bulls for longs. Um, price went up. We chopped around for a bit. We failed to go higher, and we did not create higher highs. So at this point we had a break of structure. Um, at this point I was looking for shorts just because as well I was also just trying to go down to here to fill these fair value gaps. This is like the one entry that I was about to take, but I hesitated because I don't know, I felt like I would be risking way too much. You know, it's a 50 point. I don't really size. I should start using micros, but I just stick with minis because it's like a psychology thing for me. I tend to want to size up more because it like keeps me from doing bad trades. But in this should have been an exception where I traded like five minis instead of a micro, five micros instead of a mini. This was a good trade. I would have just held this all day until we filled all the fair value gaps. Here we didn't break structure, so I wouldn't have exited here either. But I would have held this just till all the way down to like London's or even just to this fair value gap. It would have been a good trade, but I didn't take that unfortunately. 260 points would have been a massive day. Honestly, I should have took that, but I didn't. Hesitated, like I said, because of the amount of risk I was putting onto the table. So I didn't take that trade. Um, so we just started dumping. I was getting a little bit of FOMO, and the FOMO it grew into my emotions as well as the Asia session. My emotions were very much elevated. So at this point, I was like, yo, I need to go very slow. I need to be very cautious about the trades I take because my emotions are very heightened, you know. So I had my community, my Discord, we were all just kind of talking together, um, analyzing everything that helped me keep my emotions down. But yeah, so I didn't get an entry here. Price pulled up here. I wasn't looking for longs or anything. It was kind of a pullback into this inverse 5 minute fair value gap. And then around here, I logged off the charts. I had to go do something. I logged off the charts here, and it dipped all the way down to like around here when I got back on. So I was gone for like 30 minutes. So I missed no push, but I wouldn't have entered anything really. I mean, you could have entered right here. This would have been a good entry actually. Equal lows over here. Tapped with a just equal lows really. That's like the main confluence for these lows that I can see right here. Equal lows, failure to go higher, probably tapping. Maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna go into a different time frame to see. Maybe some sort of 5 minute fair value gap that price retraced into and tapped into. The only really trade I see here is this one right here. But even here, like the freaking stop is gigantic. But what can you do? But yeah, that could have been another decent setup you could have taken to just fill these fair value gaps. One thing about these fair value gaps, that was my confluence for or my bias. That was like the reason for my bias of being going shorts. A lot of people disagreed with that reasoning. I don't know. I don't really understand why, but I feel like price was very much overextended. Lots of 1 hour hourly fair value gaps down below. So I wanted to go see price go lower just to fill those fair value gaps, right? People kind of disagree with that bias or with that reasoning, but to me it kind of made sense and also made sense yesterday. It was the same bias I had yesterday for shorts, I believe, or longs. I'm not sure, but it was the same bias I had for yesterday because of these fair value gaps. But yeah, that's another play that you could have set up. I didn't take any of this. We could have had another one here. There's a lot of places you could set up. I'm not really here because there's a lot of places it has to retrace to, so your stop would be unprotected at this point. But here would have been a good trade. Protect the stop on these highs. Price came down, and this is around here is when I logged back on. I got back on here, and price just went up. And at this point, I was looking for longs. Um, price was in this hourly fair value, and it was also paired with, I don't know, price was just in an hourly fair value gap, right? So I was looking for longs for at this point we at this point we created a 5 minute somewhere around here. I'm not gonna go back. Just believe me. There's a 5 minute there. Just trust me. Okay. There's a 5 minute there. I was looking for price to retrace down, which it did. Retrace in this 5 minute, and price wicked into the 5 minute right here and rejected off that candle. Next candle kind of went up a little bit. It displaced a little bit, and it looked like a good displacement to me. And I entered just around like the beginning of this candle and the end of this candle. I entered here. I was looking for longs. Stops below this wick, and as well as the fair value gap. Just targeting. It was a rough target. This was just like an example where I was targeting, but I was not actually going to target there. Most likely target these lows and this 15 minute fair value gap right here was my main target. But that then ended up not even playing out. Just pretty much immediately stopped me out. Not mad about it. Was not risking that much. That was my first trade I took during New York. And then after it disrespected that 5 minute fair value gap, it inversed it, and at this point I was looking for shorts right here. We had price come down. It failed. It was like tapping around this resistance area for a bit, and then it displaced up. It tapped into a 15 or 5. I need to fix these because I'm not trying to confuse you guys. It tapped into a 5. Yes, sorry. This was a 5. I have my settings wrong right now. Yes, tapped into a 5. 15, 15. Oh, this is a 5. Let me fix this for you guys. Sorry about that. 15, 5, yes. So we tapped into the 5 from the downside. Tapped into the 5 and displaced lower. Um, I was I wanted to see a bigger displacement candle here. I know some people entered here, which was honestly a good entry as well. It also played out. People entered right around here. Um, but I was kind of looking for a kind of like a break and retest. I used to trade break and retest in the past, so I had the same logic with this entry. Price came down, retested it, and I entered here as well because I wanted to see how price would react to coming back up, and it also kind of resisted coming back up. It was more of a discretionary play. I will admit it was very much discretionary, but I'm not mad about this trade at all. It was a good entry. Protected stop over these highs. I did the bodies. So you could have done the wicks as well, but I want to do bodies. Protective stop above these highs. Price was in drawdown for a little bit before just dropping down. I went break even once price came below these lows. I targeted London lows down here. And yeah, price just hit my take profit here, and then I called it for the day after this trade because that's when price really took its main draw of liquidity and then just chopped for the rest of the day. Even till now, it's just been chopping. But yeah, that's the main trades I took. It was very much of a rough day, mainly because of the bad trades I had during HS session that really messed me up mainly. Um, but yeah, the main issues was over trading, emotional trading as well. I really should have got off the charts after this trade, even way before that, because my emotions were way too elevated. I was mad because I missed a move here because I knew this whole thing was gonna happen. I just didn't get a good entry for it. I just decided not to get into the good entries I spotted. So that was my bad, and I had FOMO because I missed the move on that. Um, my emotions were way too elevated. I needed to lock out, but I was able to make up on my losses on this trade. Not proud of it, but I did it, and it was a good trade. So I'm not mad. I took a bad trade and made back my losses. That would not be a good trade if I made back my losses on a bad trade. But this was a good trade. A lot of people took it. Some people in the community I'm in also took that trade. So it was a good trade, good setup and everything. I happened to make back my losses. I also was very emotional here because I wanted to get a winning day to secure another payout, but you know, I was not able to get that winning day and I locked out. I was like, don't even try it. Um, but yeah, that was the trades I took today. Main thing is that my emotions were just too elevated from Asia session and I was over trading or revenge trading. That was the problem. Um, but yeah, it was a solid day. Very much just solid day for Friday. It was not a bad day at all. There was a couple of good trades that people could take. Um, I was also just coming to the opening with a very cautious mindset because of the fact that it's Friday. Friday tends to be, a little bit more erratic and unpredictable because of end of week and just less volume and everything like that. So I was very much more safe and cautious with Fridays. But yeah, that was the trades I took for today. Biggest lesson I learned, and I'm trying to improve on it, is to stop my over trading. That's my habit that I do. My revenge trading, my emotions when it comes to losses is uncontrollable at sometimes. Sometimes I make wins and I feel at the top of the world, but then I would have a loss and I feel like I'm like the worst trader in the world. It's like that kind of thing. I just want to revenge trade and make my losses back. But I'm glad I was able to control my emotions and just wait for a good setup like this one and wait for patience. So I was able to end the day break even today. But yeah, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, you can leave in the comments down below. But yeah, just trying to improve on my emotions and controlling my psychology and my impulses. Anyways, those are trades I took, and thank you all for watching. Have a good weekend. See you guys on Monday.